71,000 trophies, solar fame, and 26 brawlers officially pushed into Prestige 1. Whenever people see an account like mine, the first thing they ask is, how? What's the secret? People think there's some crazy techniques or trick shots that you need to learn, or you need some insane god tier reaction time, or that you need to play for 12 hours a day. Honestly, that's not it at all. And you definitely don't need a fully completed account with all the brawlers and multiple thousands of resources. I didn't have Najia unlocked until probably an hour ago, and I'm still up at 71k. Hitting that 70k mark isn't just about being the flashiest player in the lobby. It's about game sense, understanding how everything in Brawl Stars works, and having an actual game plan. Today, I'm gonna sit down and give you the complete uncut playbook on how to climb high ladder, especially with the new prestige system. I'm gonna talk for a long time here because there's a lot to cover, and I wanna make sure that you guys actually understand the strategy of the game and no random get rich quick trophy schemes. Just the real raw stuff that you need to know if you want to cross that 10k mark and actually survive in Brawl Stars. Grab a snack, get comfortable, and let's get right into it. First of all, the biggest thing holding you back is not your randoms. It's not the meta also. It's you not knowing when to just shut Brawl Stars and take a break. Once you get into the prestige tiers, the economy of the game completely changes, and a loss hurts much more than a win helps, because losing a game can tend to lose you more trophies than winning a game can give you. When you lose 2 games in a row, what happens to you? What happens to your body? You get mad, your heart rate increases, and you start playing aggressive, making dumb pushes without your teammates, and you start to just try to earn those trophies back as fast as possible. And you stop looking at the whole map. You just begin targeting the guy who keeps spinning on you. It's kind of like watching a basketball game. Let's say the Los Angeles Lakers are down by 15 points in the fourth quarter. Instead of running an actual offense that their coach tells them and scoring good points, making good passes and playing a smart game, what if the people panicked and started chalking up heavily contested three-pointers hoping that a miracle would save them? It never works on the basketball court, and it definitely doesn't work in Brawl Stars. Rule number 1 of high ladder is the 2-loss rule, is what I like to call it. If you drop 2 games in a row on the brawler you're pushing, stop. It takes 0 skill to just close the app, but it saves you 50 trophies of tilting. Play a different game mode, or pick a different brawler to cool off. Or if that doesn't work, honestly, just put your phone down and go do something else. Also, you have to realize who you're actually playing right now. With the new update, high ladder isn't just about total trophies anymore. The game uses a hidden MMR system, and it's actively looking for people exactly at your skill level. High ladder is stupidly sweaty, and you're running into people who are on Discord calls who've been playing for 3 or more hours together. They have designated lane assignments, and they're actually counting your reload speed to make the game as bad as it can possibly be for you and to lose you more trophies. On top of that, if you're queuing up at 2 am with randoms, you're just handing these sweaty Discord trios free progress. The matchmaking pool is so small at these hours that the game has no choice but to feed you the pro teams. You need to play Brawl Stars during peak hours. Play when the kids get off school. Play in early evening time when there are more regular people online. Because then the matchmaking pool dilutes and your chances of getting matched up against pros are much lower, and you're not constantly running into competitive esports players. Next up, let's talk about drafting and the new meta. People tend to complain that they can't push because they don't have the newest, most broken brawler unlocked or maxed out. For me, for example, I didn't have Sirius until he got nerfed. And I didn't have Najia until 2 days ago, and I think it's safe to assume that the meta is going to end soon. It does not matter at all. You do not need a massive roster or every single brawler to win. You just need a good rotation of brawlers, and you need a bit of game sense. Every single season there's gonna be, say, 4 to 5 brawlers who are stupidly overpowered. The devs tend to buff somebody way too much, and they also tend to make the new brawlers much more broken so people actually pay to buy the early release packs. And then you see these brawlers in every single game that you play. If you don't have the brawlers, you don't need to give up. You need to assume that the people on the other team will definitely have them, and you need to build your strategy over making the game tougher for them to win and easier for you. Tougher for them to win and easier for you to win. Let's say your enemy team is running some crazy tank like a Poco and tank healing, for example, Poco, Hank, and Frank or something like that. They are healers and they have massive health pools, and all they're gonna do is walk the ball into the net because they don't exactly have range and damage. You don't go ahead and blindly pick your favorite brawler. Say, for example, my favorite brawler is Rico, who in this case would be good. But let's say my favorite brawler was Berry. Now, Berry can do good damage, but he cannot beat the tank healing combination. You cannot hope that just the mechanics will carry you. You need to pick what shuts them down. And you need, for example, a wall breaker such as Dynamite to open up the map so they have nowhere to hide and heal. And you also need somebody like Colt or Rico who can shred these tanks and do insane amounts of damage. Once you get to high trophies, most of the game is just decided by your draft. You have to look at your map and think who is the most sweaty pick for this map. And then you lock in whoever hard counters them. If there's a map with a ton of bushes, you're guaranteed to know that there is an Edgar or a Buzz standing in there. You won't pick a squishy sniper such as Piper. You'll pick a brawler who can scout bushes or somebody with knockback. For example, Meeple's knockback gadget or Bo who can see into the bushes. Now, let's talk about lane control. This is the biggest difference between somebody who has every brawler low 200 to 300 trophies with again somebody who has 71 trophies in total. Or for that matter, somebody who has 100k plus and every brawler prestige. A bad player just runs to the place where everyone's fighting and goes and fires off shots and hopes they get some kills. A good player understands that every single map in Brawl Stars divides into 3 lanes. The left lane, the right lane, and the middle lane. To win in high trophy games, you need to establish lane dominance. If you're playing a sniper, you need to find the longest and most open sight line on the map and make sure that you shut it completely down. If you're playing an assassin, you need to use natural cover such as bushes to pinch the enemy into positions they cannot escape. You never stack up with your teammates unless you're going for a final push last resort. For example, your safe is on 25% and their safe is on say 50% and you need to melt it down. When you stack up, you just feed the enemy supers. For example, if you have 3 brawlers in one lane and the opponents have dynamite, you're giving them a chance to hit one stun gadget and then get insane damage, and then you give them a free counter push which is going to be very difficult to break. You need to not give them free damage. You need to spread out, win your 1v1s in your lane, and then pinch mid. That's how you control the entire match and that's how you win games. Moving on to patience and map rotation. Getting a brawler to 1000 trophies is just the tutorial. You need to understand now at the end of the season, your trophies don't reset anymore. But a real wall hits when you're trying to hit Prestige 2 or Prestige 3. And it's something I haven't managed to do yet because my current goal is to hit 100k. Because of the hidden MMR matchmaking, the game stops being nice to you after Prestige 1. It stops giving you easy wins, and this is where map rotations become everything. Never force a push just because you want to play a brawler today. If you want to push Piper but the only bounty map is completely covered with walls and bushes, just don't play her. Wait for the next rotation. You have to look at the map rotation by hitting that little I button on top of the map, and you need to realize how the map looks. You need to understand the map layout. Where are the choke points of the map? Is mid control better for throwers or is it better for snipers? And is it easy for you to get spawn trapped? When I'm grinding Prestige, I only play my brawler on the best maps in the game. I don't care if I have to wait 3 to 4 days for that map to come back in the rotation. Playing a brawler on a mid-tier map when you're going for Prestige 2 is just begging for you to tilt. And it's definitely not worth the risk. Now, let's dive into the specific game modes for a second. Because macro strategy changes completely depending upon what game mode you're playing. Let's say you're pushing in Brawl Ball. The whole game is about positioning yourself and it's about making sure you don't die because respawn timers are a pain. The biggest mistake people make is scoring way too early and then that puts them at a disadvantage. Once you team wipe the enemy team, but you're at let's say 10% health and you have 0 ammo, don't walk the ball into the goal. Because once the enemies spawn in with their invincibility shields, they're going to kill you for sure. and they're going to take the ball and counter attack while you're dead. Instead, what you should do is push the ball up, then fall back, heal a bit, and try spawn trapping them. Brawl Ball is entirely about making sure your opponents have no place to move. And that's why brawlers like Dynamite and Mortis tend to dominate in this game mode. Now, Gem Grab. It's entirely about pressure that's put on the opponent team during the countdown. The gem carrier is the most important person on the team. If you are the gem carrier, please do not focus on getting kills, especially if you're using an assassin like Mortis or Edgar. Your job is to be alive. I see many randoms on my team who grab 8 gems and then try to get some kills, and they attack another brawler who has 2 gems to get that 10 trophy countdown. But that if you die, you're putting your own team at risk of losing. If you have gems, please fall back and let your teammates push up and make a line in front of you. And once that defensive line is built, that's when you go to the gem spawner, get those other 2 gems, and then fall back. Let your teammates do work sometimes. When the countdown starts, that's when you use the environment to hide and let your teammates make sure that the opponents do not reach you. And only as a last resort, if your defensive line falls, is when you either use your Edgar super to maybe jump away from the enemies, or if they're low, maybe jump into the enemies, or if you're Mortis, maybe try chaining something, but stay close to your own spawn so that if you do die, your teammates can respawn and then get those gems back. Knockout, the strategy is fully different. It's not about control, it's about getting one pick. As soon as the game becomes a 3v2, the round is over if you play it smart. Knockout is not a game of unnecessary risks. You poke, you build your super, and you wait for the enemy to mess up. The second they mess up their positioning, you focus on that guy, and once you have more players than the other team, you just spread out and then make sure that they die. Either push them into the poison gas or control mid and eventually get the kills. Now, here's something a little more psychological, and it doesn't always work, but I tend to see it work a lot for me, and that is mind games. At this level, you tend to have skins for almost every brawler in the game. And people say skins don't give you any tactical advantage or any extra damage, which is completely true. However, it's important to note that it's not that it doesn't give you any advantage, because they definitely mess with the opponent's head. When you load into a sweaty lobby, your battle card is your reputation. The first thing your enemy sees is your battle card, and that will set how they attack you or how they focus on you for the whole match. Say you load into the game wearing an OG skin that's not been in the shop for ages, like let's say Challenger Colt. You then have a pin such as the old trophy pins where you had to pay money, or even Matcherino pins, and a brand new prestige battle card, or even Solar Fame shining in the background, or Meteoric Alien, or even the new Star Force Fame. You're telling the other team that you know what you're doing. You've been playing the game for long and you know exactly how to win. And this tends to intimidate people a lot. You'll actually see it happen in game in front of your eyes. They won't be pushing you as hard because they assume that, oh, this guy's really good, he's gonna outplay me. They play scared and they try to attack your teammates who are less advanced in the game. In a high ladder match, that split second where the other team backs up because they're nervous is all you need to take complete control. For example, say you're playing Mortis, and rather than pushing in your lane, all of the teammates hang back. You can chain onto them, and once Mortis has 3 brawlers in a closed confined area, if you have even a bit of skill, you can punish them and you can get a triple kill in that situation. Make a battle card that looks very sweaty. Flex your collection, equip the most expensive skins you have, or the most rare skins you have. It may sound dumb, but psychological warfare tends to work when you're playing against people who care about ranks. So let's wrap it up now because it's been a long time and I don't want to bore you with my talking. Hitting 70k and stacking up prestige isn't magic, it's a formula. It's knowing when you need to walk away and stop playing so you don't tilt. It's picking the right brawlers to counter the current meta instead of playing favorites and completely getting destroyed. It's waiting for the perfect maps, understanding lane control, and playing the psychological game. Stop stressing over being the most fast player in the world. People see Tensai playing Max and they say, oh, I want to be like him, and then they go load into a game with Max and get demolished by the opponents. Mechanics can only get you so far. Start looking at the big picture, start watching the macro. Play smart, protect your trophies, and the ranks I promise you will pile up over time. If you guys enjoyed this video, please drop a like. And if you want me to do a ranking on the brawlers to push to prestige 1 from easiest to hardest, please let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching, and please leave a subscribe because it's my dream to become a content creator, and I promise to keep making amazing content for you guys. And I'll catch you guys in game.